A long time ago, in a quiet forest far from any village, there lived a wise and kind-hearted monk. He had renounced the world and lived peacefully in a small cave, spending his days meditating and helping anyone in need. One evening, as he was sitting near the entrance of his cave, a young man stumbled upon his dwelling, looking lost and dejected. The monk invited the young man inside and offered him some tea. As they sat together, the young man began to share his story. He had left his village with big dreams of becoming successful in the city. But things hadn't gone as planned. He'd lost his job, his savings were depleted, and he felt like a complete failure. The monk listened attentively, his eyes filled with compassion. When the young man finished speaking, the monk smiled gently and said, "My friend, your journey is far from over. Let me tell you a story that might help you see things differently." He began to narrate the tale of a small seed that was planted in the ground. The seed felt scared and alone in the dark soil, unsure of what would happen next. Days passed, and it felt like it was being crushed by the weight of the earth above it. But slowly it began to sprout, pushing through the soil towards the light. As the plant grew, it faced many challenges. Strong winds threatened to uproot it, and harsh sun tried to wither its leaves. But the plant persevered, growing stronger with each obstacle it overcame. Eventually, it became a mighty tree, providing shade and shelter to many creatures of the forest. The young man listened intently, his eyes widening with understanding. The monk continued, "You see, my friend? Like that seed, you too are in a period of growth. The challenges you face are not meant to break you, but to make you stronger. Each setback is an opportunity to learn and grow." Inspired by the monk's words, the young man felt a renewed sense of hope. He realized that his failures weren't the end of his journey, but rather stepping stones towards his future success. With a grateful heart, he thanked the monk and set out to face the world again, this time with a new perspective. As the young man was about to leave, the monk called out to him one last time. "Remember," he said, "the mightiest trees in the forest are often those that have weathered the fiercest storms. Your struggles are shaping you into something extraordinary." Months passed, and the monk continued his peaceful existence in the forest. One day, as he was meditating outside his cave, he heard footsteps approaching. To his surprise, it was the same young man he had helped before, but now he looked different, confident, successful, and happy. The young man rushed to the monk, his eyes brimming with gratitude. "Your words changed my life," he exclaimed. "I went back to the city with a new attitude. I worked hard, learned from my mistakes, and now I've started my own successful business. I've come back to thank you and to share my success with you." The monk smiled warmly, but then noticed something peculiar. The young man was carrying a large bag, which he promptly opened to reveal expensive gifts: fine silks, precious gems, and gold coins. "These are for you," the young man said proudly, "to show my appreciation for your wisdom." The monk's smile faded slightly as he gently pushed the bag away. "My dear friend," he said softly, "I'm glad my words helped you, but I'm afraid you've misunderstood the most important lesson." Confused, the young man asked, "What do you mean? I've become successful just as you said I would. Isn't this what you wanted for me?" The monk shook his head slowly. "Success isn't measured by the wealth you accumulate or the status you achieve. True success lies in the person you become, the lives you touch, and the positive change you bring to the world." He continued, "The seed in our story didn't grow to become the mightiest tree in the forest, to show off its strength or to dominate others. It grew to provide shelter, to offer its fruits, to be a home for birds and animals. Its greatness came from what it gave, not what it possessed." The young man's face fell as realization dawned on him. He had achieved financial success, but had lost sight of the deeper meaning of life. The monk placed a comforting hand on his shoulder and said, Don't be disheartened. This too is part of your journey. Now you have the opportunity to use your success to help others, to make a positive difference in the world. Humbled and inspired once again, the young man nodded. He understood now that his true journey was just beginning. A journey not towards personal gain, but towards making the world a better place. As the young man left the forest that day, he carried with him not material wealth, but a wealth of wisdom that would guide him towards true fulfillment and success. And the wise monk returned to his simple life in the cave, ready to help the next wandering soul who might stumble upon his dwelling, seeking guidance and inspiration.